For all your action figures and collectibles, check out My Hero Store. Link is in the description below. Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we will be looking at Cassian Andor and B2EMO droid from the new Disney Plus Andor show. Right from the start I have to say thank you to My Hero Store who provided me this set for a review. Andor show, I loved it. It was such a great show, such a fresh, more serious take on the Star Wars franchise. Yeah, I really loved it. But in terms of action figures, especially the Black Series action figures that I'm collecting, I have to say that I'm not that much attracted to these Black Series figures from Andor show. For now, my idea was that I'm going to skip on all of the Black Series figures that are coming from the Andor show. But, as I said, My Hero Store provided me this set and made it possible for me to get to enjoy in these figures and to see how good they are. I mean, we did get Cassian Andor before his Rogue One version, and I'm not a fan of those Rogue One figures. I am a huge fan of the movie, but not of those figures because they came out in the time when Hasbro was struggling with their articulation, but also with their face paint, the way that they were doing the faces for these Black Series figures. The articulation on those is really bad, especially on that Jyn Erso figure. I can't stand that figure. It's simply just too gummy and doesn't look good. My number one figure from all of those from Rogue One was definitely K2SO, but this is the new Black Series type of body, the new articulation, pinless joints. Now they are doing that new face scan and face printing for the faces. We'll move the droid to the side and we'll start with Cassian. The proportions to this guy, I would say that it's really good. The jacket does flow naturally on the body. We do have a hood that is sculpted here in the back. Usually I'm not a fan of plastic types of coats and ropes and those kinds of things, you know. I prefer it to be cloth because I like to pose my figures in all kinds of dynamic poses. The coat is loose, it's a softer plastic, and it doesn't drape too much over the legs, so it won't hinder the articulation in lower part of his body. So the proportions, as I said, look great. The face does look good, especially from the side when you look at it. Maybe his beard should be a little bit darker, and Hasbro keeps doing that shine coat over their plastic that they use. I don't know, is that something that comes out of the factory by default, or it's something that they do with their paint that makes this figure look more sweaty. Maybe if you are good with painting faces and if you would take this and customize it by yourself, I'm sure that you could do much better. I would say that in person he does look much more like the character and like the actor. Some details on the beard are lost when you look at it through the camera. The paint looks alright. There are few different shades on the coat. Some areas are darker, some are lighter, and so that gives kind of depth to this coat. Hasbro can sculpt it and give it a lot of great little details, which you can't get if you are doing it in a cloth material. I'm aware of that, you know, but underneath the jacket, the arms are sculpted as part of a jacket. Technically, you could remove the jacket, but then it just wouldn't look right because you will be left with these sleeves from the jacket. But underneath, when you look at the way that they sculpted the body and the shirt and overlay, it really looks good. There are wrinkles in here, different types of paint, different shades of green. The belt looks really good. It branches here and goes down here where we get these kinds of different types of tools. Usually you would expect a holster down here, right? Because this guy does come with one accessory only, and it is his blaster, his gun. And you would expect a holster here, maybe, to storage it. But no, that's not the case. There is no holster. You won't be able to storage the gun anywhere except in his hands. So that's a bummer. I'm sure that it's accurate to the show because, you know, he did stole a gun. He didn't have it on him from the beginning, so his outfit is really not made to holster a gun. But on the other hand, we want it to be accurate to the show, right? So I'm guessing that's not an issue. The pants also have a lot of different sculpted details on it. The wrinkles are sculpted really good, so that the pants are draping down here. Then the boots also, they really sculpted it really good. Now in terms of articulation, we are getting a standard articulation that we usually see on these Black Series figures, a newer type of articulation. He does have a ball joint here at the top of his neck and also at the bottom. He can look up a little bit, but it's mostly hindered by the hair sculpt. You can get some of it, and you can also use the rest of his torso to lean him a little bit back. He can look down this much, so that's good enough, right? He does have a little bit of side-to-side movement, rotation and all of it, of course. When we go to his shoulders, they are not hindered by the jacket, so you can get him into this T-pose. We do get swivel, but from the shoulder he does have a little bit of butterfly joint, but it's hindered by the jacket. At the elbow we do get a single bend, but it's a little bit better than 90 degrees, and it does also swivel here. His hand, one goes in and out, but it's kind of hindered by this sleeve, and on the other hand we do get a little bit of up and down because he does have a gun, so that's always great. No cut up here, but we do have a cut down here at the torso, so he does swivel. He does have a little bit of a crunch to the back and a little bit forward, but whenever you are doing that you can always combine it with legs, you know, that's what's expected, to use the whole articulation, not just one point. Down at the legs there is this small piece of plastic from his robe that is draping down, and it's an overlay because there is a base body underneath, but it's a soft plastic, so it doesn't hinder his leg articulation. The leg can go forward this much, and to the back not really that much. Let me see. Yeah, we have this problem with butt flap here, so this is how much you will get. We do have this, the upper thigh swivel, and then we have the single knee that goes back this much, and the knee does swivel as well. And then at the feet we do get a little bit of forward, a lot to the back, and then we do have this swivel that is kind of hindered. I would like to get more out of it, and maybe you can when you put it to the side. Yeah, you can get more, so you kind of have to play with it a little bit and find that sweet spot, but it's manageable. Here we go. A nice dynamic pose for our Cassian. In terms of accessories, he does come with this little gun blaster. It's a really good sculpt, a lot of technical details on it. The handle is painted, so that's good. That's it, that's his gun, and that's the only thing that this guy comes with, you know. Let's give him his gun. The hands are made out of a soft plastic, so you shouldn't have any problems with putting his gun into his hand. And there you go. Cassian is now armed with his gun, and here he is in a nice little dynamic pose. Next, let's look at his little droid friend, B2EMO, a great character in the show, actually a great little figure that actually at the time of recording this video, this guy comes only as a part of this exclusive set, unfortunately. Maybe down the line Hasbro will release him again as a single release, or maybe in some kind of a droid pack, because I'm not sure that as a single release this would be good for collectors, especially when you remember what Hasbro did not that long ago with their Grogu or Baby Yoda that they released as a standard single release with full price. So if this would be a single release and it would cost around $25 or euros, that would make people angry. But as it is, as part of this exclusive set, this little guy is really well made. The sculpt is great. He does have a lot of dings on it, a lot of damages, scratches. You can see it here in the front as well. How light shines it, you can see different types of scratches. Paint applications are really good here because it feels like there is some dry brushing that also gives you the effect of wearness and damages and dirt. So yeah, it's a basic, simple design, not just as a figure but as a character from the show, of course. This little plate here seems like it's missing a part. It's closed from this side but opened on the other side, and of course a different paint for this wheel here, and it's a different shape as well, as it should be. You know that Star Wars universe is a lived-in world, used world, and this guy had a replacement tire, replacement leg, and it came as a part of something else, maybe some other type of droid, and maybe some kind of older version, you know. As I said, it's a basic little droid, basic square figure. You wouldn't expect for it to have any type of articulation, but it actually does. It has a nice little feature where first this lower part, or his wheels or legs, do have a little bit of swivel up and down on both sides. It's not much, just a little bit. So if you have it, don't go crazy with it, because I feel like it will break here at this point. But yeah, it does have a little bit of swivel. And then the main feature is that this is how he looks when he's charging or when he is hiding or something like that. But you can actually pull his body in 3 different areas, here, here, and here at the top of his head, so that you can extend the body like this. It does need a little bit of force to pull it, but it does work. And so now when it's extended, you get this. And I feel like it's a nice little feature, a nice little thing that Hasbro did for this little guy. You can see that there is also a lot of great little sculpted details on this gray technical parts inside, because this outside reddish part is mostly like an armor, and then the real technic stuff is inside. And you can see his eye, or maybe his eyes, because there is a larger one and a smaller one, and it's also really well painted with these little red circles inside. But the upper part, or should we call it the head, can turn 360, you know, so that he can look to the side. And even if you play a little bit with it, you can crunch it like this. You see how the line here is much more closed and here is more opened, so that you can, along with this little swivel at the bottom, maybe give him like a pose that he is kind of like looking a little bit up, you know, or up and to the side like this. So I feel like such a nice small little detail that Hasbro did on this guy really makes the difference. When he's in danger or something like that, he can just transform, and it gives him kind of a character, you know. This is a really great little figure, a great addition to your Black Series collection. Now I know that the Cassian figure is coming out as a single release as well. It will be without this B2EMO droid. I almost feel like, and I know I'm going too far, especially in these days with Hasbro, but I feel like this should be a standard release. And you know why? Do you remember when the Force Awakens figures were coming out? Do you remember that first Rey Black Series figure? What did we get with Rey? We got the figure, we got her staff, and we got BB-8. That's right. Now BB-8. Will you tell me that BB-8 is not as popular as this B2EMO droid? Which one do you feel is more popular? And that is why I feel that this droid should be included with Cassian as a single release. But when you see it like this set really looks good. Let's now move forward to the size comparison, and first let's compare Cassian and his little droid with Black Series Stormtrooper and the Black Series The Book of Boba Fett, the Black Series Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, and the SH Figure Arts Din Djarin or the Mandalorian. Next, here they are with Bandai Darth Vader model kit and Mafex The Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. And I love this Bandai's Darth Vader. It has the best proportions, the best looking Darth Vader for me, until I get that SH Figure Arts one, and then I'll compare it. But this is the model kit for which I made custom soft goods and the cape. Here they are with some other lines like NECA's Mirage Comics bootleg from AliExpress Leonardo and Marvel Legends movie Deadpool. And where there is Cassian, there should also be a K2 SO droid. And I think that these three go really well together. So that's it for this video. I like this set. As I said, I originally didn't plan on getting it, but because of My Hero Store, I was happy enough and lucky enough to be able to get to feel these figures and to see how they look, how they move, and I must say that I'm satisfied with this, and I would recommend you to get it if you can, especially because of this little droid. This Cassian is also a great figure. I mean, modern articulation for the Black Series. He looks good. For me, this is something that I don't usually do. I'm not used to making reviews on this channel. I'm all into action poses, as you can see in my other videos, but I decided to try it, you know, and to see how it will feel for me and how it will look for the channel. Stay tuned for the posing video for these two figures, and that posing video will be up on the channel tomorrow. So thank you all for watching, thank you for being here with me, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.